You guys can come on in. So, on this paper at your table, I don't want you to flip it over. I just want you to write on this paper, what does it mean to summarize? When you're done, you're just going to read silently, okay? So on the back of the sheet, don't flip it over. I just want you writing that right on here. My fashionistas are Aiden, and my other fashionista is Haley. So you're going to get your, or get your own colors. So 0.6. What does it mean to summarize? You just, nope, I did not turn it over. I said right on the back of it. What does it mean to summarize? I just want you to write down what you think, so. Use the front, straight in the back. Do not look at the front, just use the right on the back what you think it means to summarize. What do you know about it? What's your past experience with it? I want you to try your very best. I know we talked about this last year in guided reading, so think back. I know it's been a while. It was a long, long time, so. So summarizing or a summary we all do, so. When you're done, what do you think you're doing, Tegan? I'm going to give you guys about another minute to finish up. All right, so here we go. So summarize. What did you come up with? What do you think summarize means? What are our thoughts here? What's your background on it? What do you know about it, Josh?
Like, I'm just gonna take a shower.
All right, go ahead. I like it.
Like, I think it's like to break things up.
Okay, so break things up. Okay,
Like
so
prediction.
like predictions can be involved. Okay, all right. What do you think, Tegan?
I think it's to shorten and write down the words.
I like those words you used. You're getting there. Avery, what are you thinking?
Summarize means to retell the main idea.
Ooh, those are so close. You guys are like right there on this. Actually, you guys are using words in my definition. That's
I
awesome.
saw it.
Grayson.
Retell the story, but in a shorter form.
Okay.
So that's what summarize is, I guess.
Okay. All right, Adriana, give me the last one.
I thought summarize was like to predict or to comprehend the book or movie.
Okay. I like how you brought up also different things because it doesn't just have to be you're thinking a book. It can be you can summarize other things like a movie. So I like how you kind of brought that up too. Okay, so our goal, this is always up here, tells exactly what we're going to do throughout the class period. So the goal overall today, I will be able to create a summary for fiction and nonfiction texts. So this is our overall goal. We're going to get to this. We might not get to it today, but we'll eventually be able to do this. So our goal lasts more than just today. Okay, so critical questions. So these are the questions that we're going to be answering hopefully today and then next class. So our critical questions, this is things that we're going to be answering. So what is a summary? We need to know what it is exactly, like what's the definition. Why do we summarize? So why do we care to? Why is it important to summarize something? And then how do we summarize? What goes into a summary? So what do I exactly need to write down when I make a summary? We need to know those things. So these are our critical questions for overall goals. Okay? So we are going to be talking about, obviously, summarizing today. It's going to be great. All right, so summarize this lesson. So this is kind of the start. So what I need for you to do, there is a paper in front of you. It's a fill-in note paper. So what I need for you to do is flip to the front of it. So you can just turn it over. Okay? So everything I have in this PowerPoint, it's going to be in your slides, right in here. So it's going to be a fill-in note form. So I will let you know when to write something down or when to fill something in. I will definitely let you know. So you guys can kind of follow along with me. So here we go. So what is a summary exactly? So this is the definition of summary. A summary retells the main idea and events of a story. It could be an article. It could be a movie. Could be a TV show. Could be any of those things. Like I can go up to Tegan and be like, Tegan, I watched Big Bang Theory last night. It was so funny. This is what happened. That's a summary. You are summarizing. Are you going to retell everything that happened in the Big Bang Theory?
Yes.
No.
You're going to be able to tell every quote, everything that happened, every single event.
If you know it all down.
If you wrote it all down, but are you really going to want to write it all down?
No.
Is your friend really going to want to hear every little thing about it?
Yes.
Probably not.
Depends on how much they like it.
Depending on how much they like it. But most of the time, you don't want to have to write everything down. So this is why we summarize something. You retell a shorter version of it, and you put it in your own words. So you're not going to quote exactly what Sheldon said. You might sometimes, but you're not going to quote every little quote he said within the Big Bang Theory. You're going to summarize it. You're going to shorten it to make it into your own words so it's easier to go back to and figure out what's happening, or just to tell your friends. Okay? So that's a summary. So the summary elements. So this is exactly what I want to see in your summaries. You should see the introduction, which involves the main idea. And what's a main idea? What's the main idea of something? And I know, Avery, you brought a main idea. What is main idea?
The beginning, or what you think it's gonna be about, or
Well,
what's the story about?
okay, it's what the story is mainly about. You got it. You eventually got there. It's what the story is mainly about. So it might be the lesson. It might be the moral of the story. It's just like, it's kind of a summary within a summary. It's kind of like that little gist or idea of what it's about. So a little glimpse into the text or story before you actually tell the actual events of the story. All right? And then next is the events that explain the story. So support the main idea. So when you tell the main idea of a story, after that comes the events. The events have to support the overall main idea. So where do we see that, like proving or supporting? What does that go along with? When we have to prove something, there's a word we use. Or to support something, we use a certain word, Josh. What is that word?
I think it's evidence.
You got it, it's evidence. Very nice. Yeah, that's the connection we're going to make right now. So in this, you have to provide evidence that support the overall main idea. That's kind of like evidence. Evidence supports or proves our overall main idea, right, Tegan? It's going to support and prove our main idea. So that's kind of what we're doing there. And then a conclusion. A conclusion is used to wrap everything up. So we're going to wrap everything into a nice little bow. Okay, so this is the fun part. We are going to watch another Pixar movie. We use Pixar when we did inferencing. We're going to use Pixar when we're going to do summarizing. So we're going to watch a video all the way through this time. And you're going to look for the main idea. That's the first one I'll start with. And I want you to kind of pay attention to some events too while we're watching it. But right now, I want you to solely look for the main idea of the movie, okay? So switch it over.
What's the movie called?
I like him to search again. Alright, so I want you to go back to your notes, and then I want you to flip the page, please. Alright, so first is the main idea. That's kind of what we're talking about. So before I even get the main idea, I want to introduce my overall story. The name of the story. I want to talk about the title and the creator. So these are the things you need to list before you even talk about the main idea. So this is the very start of it. So you need the type of format. So it could be a movie, it could be a TV show. So I could start out by saying The Big Bang Theory could be, it'd be the TV show. That would be my first part. That's the type of format, the TV show. Here it's a short film. So what's the type of format? So it could be a book, movie. So that is the type of format. Next is your title. So the title of this little short film was called For the Birds, and then the creator was Pixar. So that would be like your author. So you need to say it just like that to start your summary. Okay? We're going to skip verb for right now, and we're going to talk about that after. I wanted to talk about the main idea. So somebody tell me the main idea of this. What was the main idea overall? What was the main idea? The shortened version of that overall. What was the main idea? Adriana.
Well, at first, I think the main idea was that to make it that it's not nice for people to laugh at another person.
And Adriana, I want you to repeat that, but I want everybody's eyes on you right now. So I need pencils down, I need everybody's eyes on Adriana, because what she's saying is very important, and I want everyone paying attention to it. Okay? So let's try that again.
I think that the big bird was getting bullied by the little birds, and then when they were pecking off his feet off the line, the birds flew up and lost all of their feathers, and when they fell back down, the big bird was bullying the little birds because they didn't have any feathers.
Okay, so the little birds were picking on the big bird. So, and then what'd you say after, Adriana? So the little birds were picking on the big bird.
And then when the little birds lost their feathers, the big bird was being mean to the little birds. He was
Well,
just
in it
laughing at 'em.
he was laughing at them. Actually, we'll just put that so then, and when the little birds were picking on the big bird, and when, actually, and then we'll say, and then, and I want you to write this down. Okay, when you're done, let your terminators know, please. So my terminators are Grayson and Josh. So when you are done, please let them know for me. And then my terminators will let me know. Nope, actually, it's not capital. Then I'll explain why.
Because it's not.
We're gonna talk about it. Yep, and I purposely did not put a capital at the start of the, that's not supposed to be capitalized. So remember, terminators, Josh and Grayson, let me know when everyone is done, please. Those are perfect. Thank you, Grayson. Perfect. Alrighty, I need you back up here, please. Now I want to go back to select a verb. So this verb, what is a verb exactly? Tell me what a verb is. What's a verb? We talked about it in, I know, language arts. What is a verb? And there's verbs underneath in case you maybe don't know what it is. There's examples of them. Maybe you can figure out using it fast. Adriana, what's a verb?
A verb is an action
Yes.
word.
It's an action word. I like to think of it the Nike commercials. Whenever I was a kid, those Nike commercials come out, and it's like verb. It's what you do. So it's an action verb. So it's like moving, running, skipping, hiking. It's an action verb. So verbs, in this instance, is going to be our transition word. It's going to get us from the source introduction to the main idea. Because we don't want to just go from this to the main idea. It wouldn't make sense. We need some sort of transition word there to make it make sense. So on the next part underneath it, buddy, are examples of verbs. So I want you to look at those examples of verbs, and I want you to tell me what best verb, or what would be a really good verb here. So we need to go from the short film For the Birds by Pixar to the little birds were picking up the big bird. What's a good verb or a great verb we want to put there? And there are good verbs on here listed, and there are great verbs. So you can use either or here. What verb should we put in here to make it make sense? So I want you to look to see what could make sense here. And I actually want you to turn and talk to your groups. So turn and talk, tell me, or turn and talk to your group and talk about what verb you think would go best for part B.
I think it would be like describe. Like they describe.
What word did you use?
The big bird and the birds versus
So do you guys agree? You can describe the word. Okay, so did you see any other ones that you guys like? No, you just go on with describes? And it makes sense? Did you look at any other ones? What about some great verbs? What are some great verbs we can use here? Buddy, can you find a great verb?
I like support.
Great verbs. So are there any other great verbs that we can use that could maybe connect our source with the main idea? Wait for your discussion right now.
Oh,
That's okay, sweetie.
Is
Which one do you think? Both together, one. Because some of them won't work for this. Alright, let's see, I'm going to keep you looking. I want to see if we can find one. So we have a good one. I want to see if we can find a great one. So buddy, I'm going to put you in charge of that. Alright, so back to me, please. Alright, so what is a verb that you found? Josh, what's one thing your group found?
describes.
Describes, it's a good verb there. Awesome. Alright, what's another one? Did you guys find one?
no. I think I have one. But she has one.
Okay.
Suggest.
Suggest, yeah, that's another one. So the short film For the Birds Pixar suggests the little birds were picking on the the little birds were picking on the big bird, and the little birds lost their feather. Suggest would sort of work there, because suggesting is like they're saying or suggesting something, like you're recommending something. So I mean that it's kind of an in-between one. That one I don't know if it'd work exactly here, but that would be something. Let me see. So short film For the Birds by Pixar suggests little birds. Yeah, I don't know if I put that here. Suggesting is like recommending.
I got support. I got one.
Well, supports means like you're providing evidence, you're supporting a main idea. That's what we're going to use. That's a perfect one for when we do evidence because we're supporting the main idea. But right now I probably wouldn't use that. Grayson.
I just thought of it. The short form for the birds by Pixar. This, and then we do that. This.
Listen or describes. Okay, we're going to go with describes. I like that one. So we're going to put describes. So you need to write this down. So our verb we're going to use is describes. So far, this is just our first sentence. This is just our first sentence. Holy moly. Kind of crazy. So this is just our first sentence. So this is kind of what we came up so far. So this is put all together. So the short film For the Birds by Pixar describes the little birds were picking on the big bird, and then the little birds lost their feathers. So that's just the main idea.